Alrighty, so we got the Elegg update and it's finally live. We are going to do one multi right now in this video. If we get her, then W, but if we don't, we are going to have more summons later on today because I have to continue summoning on 8 as well because I don't have her. So I need to get at least one copy of that and one copy of Elegg. So let's try her out, or let's summon first, then try her out, and I'll let you guys know if she's good or not, basically, like I always do. Subscribe and like, let's go. Alrighty, so like I said, we got Elegg here. I mean, I'm 3 multis away from pity, so there is that. I mean, let's see if we can just get her first multi. Hopefully I don't get, you know, anything. It's 1 a.m. Nobody wants to be awake 1 a.m. for these updates, but oh, what is she, a missiless? This is on the, okay, wait, hold on. Okay, I think she's missiless, so Tetra. She's not a Tetra, so we got shafted. But who is it? Alice, which is a very good character in this game, yes, but that's not what we need. Okay, it's fine, let's go test her out. So Elegg, just for a reminder, her whole thing is really like bosses, right? That's her whole kit. Her whole purpose is to go up against bosses, right? She does help out some characters in the game, obviously Alice with distributed damage, which I'm going to showcase. She is useful for characters like that, which isn't bad because I feel like the characters who have this distributed damage are good characters. We have Dorothy, we have Scarlet Black Shadow, we have 2B, right? I wouldn't say 2B is that crazy, but Scarlet and Dorothy are quite crazy. Also, I want to see if this distributed damage I guess increase is like not adding up but like multiplying by the percentage. We'll actually just see offhand, right? 39%, we'll see a massive difference from someone like Dorothy, for example. So yeah, let's go in there, talk about it, see if she's good, all that good stuff. Let's go. Alrighty, so this is the team we're going with. I decided to just put all 3 of them who have distributed damage, and then we also have the boss feature, which is good because that's where Elegg is meant to be used against the bosses, right? So once the boss pops up, we're going to be able to use our burst skills right away. The one thing is that Dorothy on her brand effect won't increase because that's her burst skill, right? It's only the second part of her thing here. So as you guys see, that goes up to 3.8 million, right? What's the, wait, wait, not after the first full burst. Hold on, let me see. Okay. wait. Hold on. Let's just try that again without her so I can get an understanding, because it's not showing anything that's making me like believe that, like, I cannot see unless I see what it looks like without her as well for the distributed damage to see if it's really that big of a difference, right? Right, obviously being able to start the game off with your burst skill is fantastic, right? Because right, you basically get extra burst skills if you start the match off with a burst skill. But let's see, is it that big of a difference? It's already looking like it is quite a difference, right? I mean, not really, actually. Not really, right? We started off with the burst skill beforehand, so it makes sense. But yeah, it's not really that much of a difference. Am I tripping? I mean, it's 1 million off, right? Am I tripping? All right, let me go back in there and let me see if I can see this damage dealt increase being shown anywhere. I don't know if it's what this, like, this is the one part about the character that I'm insanely confused about, right? Okay, so we have the burst skills up. If we take a look, everybody has this up, right? So distributed damage increase, everybody has that, right? Modernia has that as well. Everybody has this effect, right? But I guess it's only affecting the characters with distributed damage, right? Okay, wait, I think I see it. Okay, no, I think it's just increasing the damage. I think that's all that's doing. I think all it did was it's just increasing the damage, literally. That's literally all it's doing. It's just increasing damage. Okay, so right now 2B, right, she is currently at she's at 1.7 million with, you know, Elegg and obviously the increased damage. Let's see how much she goes up from 1.7 million to, okay, to 5.8 million. It's really not that, that's not that crazy for that's not that crazy for 2B, obviously. To be fair, she does need to like stack up from these longer flights for it to really shine, but I'm not sure, right? Like, I have to, like I said, test it out. You know what, let me just do burst 1, 2, and 3, right? Burst 1, 2, and 3. Let me take Dorothy off because I feel like Dorothy is kind of what's throwing me off here to being to be able to see like the actual numbers, right? Let me just see. Alrighty, so I decided to put litter in there, and we only have litter, Elegg, and Scarlet here, right? I do want to see what Scarlet's numbers are looking like. Is it being increased? Like, what is happening here? Is it an addition? It's not additional damage, right? So when we see this stuff, it's just, that's just the damage that we're like seeing. It's just increasing her damage. It's just technically damage dealt increase, but for Scarlet, that's literally all it is. It's just basically, well, it's 18 million now because we had litter on the team, but it's basically just damage dealt increase for Scarlet or anybody who has distributed damage, right? Because we see Modernium, who didn't have distributed damage, was not getting increased at all in the last one, right? Modernium was on the team with 2B, and Scarlet, she wasn't getting her damage increase. So it's the characters who have the distributed damage effect who is getting their damage increase, right? That's just how it is. So she is actually quite good for doing that, right? She's helping out a lot. 18 million after her first full burst is quite crazy with just litter and thing as well. That could be even higher with more buffs and stuff like that. But besides that, what else does she have to offer? That's where it's like, this character really isn't that crazy to me, because yeah, you have this all the time, but even though like she can use this burst skill all the time, Scarlet can't, right? Scarlet can't. Now I guess her effects are still going off regardless, so it's good, right? Like, you literally probably just want to use her with Scarlet and Dorothy, right? That's really it. I think you just want to use her with Scarlet and Dorothy, right? Because we're nowhere at 19 million. We cannot use her burst skill, right? We cannot use her burst skill, but when the distributed damage goes off, it's still being increased, right? It's still being increased, so yeah, let me try it just with Dorothy now. Alrighty, so we're going in here with just Dorothy and Elegg so that we can actually see, right? If you guys don't know, you're probably wondering, wait, Zxous, how's Dorothy going to, if she uses her burst skill first, right? Her second skill is where she has distributed damage, and that goes off all the time during her full burst. So, yeah, that's what we want to see. So, okay. So, boom. When this goes off, that's supposed to be increasing her damage output, but this is not being increased at all, right? At least I think that might go up to 3 point whatever million as well, right? She's not really helping much. I don't want to say she's not helping much, but it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, what is she doing that's like, oh my god, like this is like the easiest skip of the century, right? After 8, of course, but like, it's like, I think this character is cool. I think what she's doing is great for, you know, like I said, like she's lowering defense and stuff like that as well. Sure, I think what she's doing for, let me use the burst skill again. Yeah, we already used it anyways. I think what she's doing for like Scarlet, what she's doing for Dorothy is cool with the increase. It's really, I'm not gonna say Dorothy, it's really just Scarlet, right? Because Dorothy doesn't do damage off that second skill realistically. So what she's doing for just Scarlet is cool, but then again, it's like, there's characters who will make you do much more, right? Now, if you want to summon for her because you need a quote-unquote another team for solo raid, I don't know how much teams we have created now, right? It's, at this point, it seems like every time a character comes out, I will get a comment saying another solo raid team when you can only have up to 5. So, I mean, if you need another one, again, by all means, but we know the half anniversary is in like 2 months, right? The end of April, so it doesn't really make sense for you to start summoning for somebody like this, right? Start saving. You guys be smart. Is she a bad character? I wouldn't say so, because she should be useful against bosses. I'm gonna wait for me to actually pull her so I can really test her in outside of just this, because I'm not seeing anything, right? The problem with this shooting range is that they're not doing, it's not that they're not doing damage to me, but like the boss is just taking like damage, you know what I mean? We're not, the boss is level 1 here, I'm assuming. The boss is just level 1 and all that stuff. I want to try it against like actual bosses and stuff like that. I just do not own the character Elegg yet. I'm going to own her later on today, so stay tuned to that. But from what I'm seeing right now, it's a cool effect, but nothing like, okay, I need to summon for her, right? And then even still, these attack buffs as well, right? The fast charge attack buff of the caster's attack, like, that's also going into play, but like I said, it's not that crazy. It only works when you're in the full burst, right? It only works when you're not in the full burst, but when you use her burst skill, right? Because look, we're gonna shoot 60 bullets already, we've shot in well over 60 bullets, but you see we don't have the attack buff. So her whole kit is orientated, like her whole kit is surrounded by her burst skill, and her whole kit is, okay, let me reword that. She is meant for bosses, but her whole kit revolves around her burst skill. And then it's like, what's the point if you're not running her with Scarlet? And there's better options if you just wanted to buff up your Scarlet, right? But again, like I said, I'm gonna wait for me to get her and test her out like 555 and stuff like that, because you gotta also realize these are all level 10 skills. You're not getting Elegg level 10 10 10. I gotta tell you guys the truth in a world full of lies. You're not going to 10 10 10 this character. You're not. So it doesn't really make sense for me to show you guys how good she is 10 10 10 against this boss when that's not what you guys are gonna see. She's gonna have to wait for me to pull her. So far I would say she's okay, right? Nothing like, just whatever. She's just like a whatever character, but that's just my opinion right now. You guys definitely let me know what you think. There's not many other characters we could test her with, because she's only good for characters with distributed damage realistically, and there's only 3 of them. So yeah, it's kind of, I mean, I can test her with, okay, let me do that. Alrighty, so I'm gonna run this team with Mary, Elegg, and what's her name, 2B, right? I'm gonna run this team right here. We're gonna do up to 3 full bursts with, you know, 2B, and then we're gonna see her final number, and I'm gonna replace Elegg with Mask and also go after 3 full bursts to see her numbers, right? Obviously we don't have another burst on the team, so it's gonna take a bit of time. So this is the first full burst, right? 5.1 million, whatever. The cooldown is not showing up here, but it is going down, right? I guess it's not showing no more, but it's gonna say 0 whatever. So that's 1 full burst. The second time around, we're not gonna be able to use the full burst. We're not gonna be able to use this, so let me pause until the next one. Alrighty, so this next burst skill that we're about to happen is going to be the second rotation, where now we got the second effect of her skill. Boom, boom, boom. So bop, bada, bada, bop, right? It's doing 15 million, whatever. This is with just Elegg and things. Like, these are characters to increase the distributed damage, and then Mary's there to help with HP, because she skills off of HP. So we're gonna run this exact same team just with Master later. So now we're gonna pause it again. And then now the next burst skill that's gonna happen right here, this is going to be the 3rd attempt, where she should be fully stacked up with her own skills and all that stuff, right? So 1 2 3. After she used that, she's currently at 26 million. This is without Mask. This is just, again, Elegg and Mary. You guys already know that because you heard me say it all this time. So now 27 million is what they were able to get. Let me just do this again with Mask. So as you guys seen, I put Mask on the team. It's the exact same thing. We're gonna go in here with Mask, and we're gonna see it again, right? Just to show you guys how much this distributed damage is really affecting us, right? It's probably not going to be as good as Mask, obviously, because Mask is giving you HP, right? She's giving you HP, which benefits 2B even more, but just kind of give you guys an idea, if that helps, right? So after the first full burst with Mask, we are what? Already at 11 million. After the first full burst with Mask, already with 11 million with HP. So it's like, my point is, why am I going to run Elegg with 2B to do 5 million when I could run it with Mask to do 11 million after the first full burst? That's just how I see it, right? I don't even need to continue, because I mean, we can. I'm gonna just continue for the sake of the video, right? Let me pause it and go to the next burst skill, like when she uses her burst skill again. Alrighty, so the next time we get to the full burst here, it's going to be the, what's it called? It's going to be the, technically there's burst different, like, okay, wait, what is it at? 22 million, which is this is the second burst from 2B. So we have 1 more from 2B. Like I said, obviously the HP is what's making her do even more, but like, you know what I mean? If Elegg is not making it that she's, you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to prove. If Elegg isn't helping 2B, or at least, okay, well, there's nothing here, but if Elegg isn't making 2B hit harder, or at least she's making it better with like Elegg than 2B with Mask, I'm not gonna run that, right? And the same thing goes for Scarlet. I'm all over the place. It's 1 a.m. I apologize, but the same thing goes for Scarlet. Same thing goes for Dorothy. If these characters do better after this full burst, let's see what number is that, right? we're at 35 million. Now, like, if all these characters do better with other people, why am I gonna summon for her? It's really, I just don't understand it realistically. So yeah, overall, my final conclusion is I'm gonna just, again, like I said, wait until I get her so I can see what she's like at 555. But right now, it's just like I was saying before, not really worth it, right? She's really only good with 3 characters, or useful for 3 characters. She has other like uses as well, like the 100% burst skill, like you get into your burst skill right away. D does that as well. So if you really need it, use D, right? It's really as simple as that, right? I feel like you're only gonna run Elegg to like kind of buff up Scarlet. I feel like majority of the players are gonna be running Elegg to buff up Scarlet, to buff up these characters with the distributed damage. But besides that, again, she is good for bosses, but the projectile thing is quite pointless since projectiles are very easy to break regardless, even without the buff. They would damn near get one tap by anything else, right? And then also the attack buff is cool, but you have to be in the burst skill for that. So there's that. Defense lower is cool, but you got to be in the burst skill for that. It's like, you just kind of want to use her with the distributed damage characters, but they're just better with other characters. So it's not necessarily that she's bad. It's just like she's like a secondary option. She's not replacing nobody. She's not even tying up with nobody. She's just a secondary option. You would only like get her if you need a secondary option, which I don't want to say you don't need, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm trying to say there. So yeah, that's Elegg. You guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous. So I'm out, bro. Peace.